Okay, guys, so this next little thing is meant to be sort of a review to get you ready for the test. In order for this to be effective, you need to take a piece of paper, preferably a piece of like blank printer paper or notebook paper will work. Turn it kind of on its side and make 4 columns. Well, let's make 5 columns. 5 columns. Column number 1. The one on the far left, write the words simple sugar or monosaccharide. So if you need time, you can pause this. Simple sugar, monosaccharide, and then go over about 3 inches and make column number 2. That's going to be polysaccharides or complex carbohydrates or starches. So all 3 of those things I would put for column number 2. Column number 3, amino acids, proteins, enzymes. Those go together, proteins. And so column number 1 was monosaccharides, simple sugars. Column number 2 was polysaccharides, complex carbohydrates, starches. Column number 3 was amino acids, proteins, enzymes. And then column number 4 would be lipids or fats. You could even put, unsaturated, saturated fats or cholesterol. All those things fit into column number 4. And column number 5 would be nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Okay? All right, so the way this is going to work, I'm just going to show you a food item, and you put it under the column that it belongs. And if you need to, just pause it. If you have to think for a minute, wait a minute, I'm not sure where to put Skittles. Pause it and think for a minute. In the end, I'm going to go back and give you the answers. So the idea is that you use the first part of this video to see if you can categorize them without any help from me to find out if you were right or not, and then look at the answers. So it's kind of a preview for a test, okay? All right, so monosaccharides, polysaccharides, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. Here we go. First one, where would you put Skittles? What column would Skittles go under? I'm going to go kind of fast so that you be ready to pause it, okay? Honey. Where would you put honey? Potatoes. Where would you put potatoes? Chicken. Where would chicken go? French fries. Where would you put French fries? Bacon grease. Where would you put bacon grease? What about a Jolly Rancher? Carrot. Chopstick. Apple. Peanut butter. Specifically Adams peanut butter. Yams and sweet potatoes. Guess I've got honey on there twice. Walnuts. Prime rib. Where would you put prime rib? In my mouth. Sawdust. Where'd you put sawdust? Mayonnaise. What column would mayonnaise go under? Egg. Peas. Tuna. Bow tie pasta. Okay, we're going to go back through these again. Just put them in the category real quickly. Skittles, honey, potatoes, chicken, French fries, bacon grease, Jolly Rancher, carrot, chapstick, apple, peanut butter, yam or sweet potato, honey, walnut, prime rib, beef, sawdust, mayo, egg, peas, tuna, pasta. Okay, now pause this right now, so make sure you've got all those covered, and then I'm going to give you the answers. We're going to go through it real quick. I'll give you the answers. Okay. Okay, guys. So here's your answers. If you haven't done them all, don't play this part yet. It defeats the purpose here for studying. Okay. This first one, or anything that's sweet when you put it on your tongue, is going to be monosaccharides, simple sugars. Super easy energy for us to access. Same with honey. Okay, simple sugar, monosaccharide. You have this tongue that's like a antenna for detecting monosaccharides and letting you know, hey, that's safe to eat. So super easy energy for us to access. This is a little harder for you to access. This is a complex carbohydrate, polysaccharide. It's a starch. Okay, this is the storage system for energy that plants use. And we have difficulty digesting it and accessing that energy. So it's kind of a save it for later energy. Not as much as fat, but pretty satisfying to eat potatoes. Chicken's going to be protein. This was probably cooked in a lipid, so the skin would probably be pretty high with lipids, but chicken itself is a protein. French fry is going to be a complex carbohydrate because it's made from potatoes. It was fried in probably a saturated fat, which is why it's not that good for you. But the potato part is complex carbohydrate. Bacon grease is a lipid, and it's going to be a saturated fat. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature, so they're not that good for you. That's why if you have olive oil, it doesn't get turned to solid at room temperature. It stays liquid. It's an unsaturated fat. Much, much better for you. Jolly Rancher is going to be a monosaccharide. You knew that because it's sweet when you pop it in your mouth. It's a simple sugar. Okay, a carrot's a complex carbohydrate. It's a starch, so it's a root. But also there's some sweetness to it, and that's simple sugar, that sweet taste. Okay, chapstick and most waterproofing things and weatherproofing things that we use are going to be lipids. The Eskimos used to use seal blubber and they'd wipe it on the underside of their kayaks so that their kayaks would be waterproof. And chapstick's no different. Protects your lips, keeps the moisture in. It's a waterproofing agent, so it's going to be a lipid. Simple sugar, sweet, monosaccharide. You eat that before a race and you can access that energy immediately. This one's kind of interesting, particularly Adams peanut butter. So if you put that it's a protein, you're right, the peanuts are proteins, but that liquid part at the top there, that is an unsaturated fat. It's actually quite good for you. It's different than other peanut butters like Jif or Skippy that are made with the saturated fats. The Adams peanut butter is made, people think it's kind of gross because you have to mix this liquid together with the solid before you can use it, but it's actually very good for you. It's much more healthy that way, and that's an unsaturated fat. That liquid that's at the top there. But so if you put lipid, you're right, and if you put protein, you're right. Yam's a complex carbohydrate. Sweet potatoes, complex carbohydrate. starches. Energy for us, but difficult to access. It's not immediate energy. And we know honey is a simple sugar. Okay, this also is a protein. Okay. Amino acids, these are actually very, very heart healthy. Walnuts are one of the healthiest nuts that you can eat. It's kind of a bummer. It's one of my least favorites, but they're very good for you. That's a protein. Beef. Sawdust is a complex carbohydrate that plants use to make cellulose. Cellulose is like the structure of a plant, and unfortunately we can't digest it. Termites can, and other animals can digest cellulose, but we can't. So in World War II, when people were starving in ghettos and concentration camps, they often used sawdust, and they made bread so that it didn't hurt as bad to starve to death. They still starve to death because you can't digest it, but they made bread out of sawdust. We can't access that energy in there because our bodies just can't unlock that complex carbohydrate that's glucose, or that's cellulose. Excuse me. Mayonnaise is going to be a lipid made with animal fat, saturated fats. The white part of an egg is protein. There's cholesterol, which is a lipid, in the yellow part, but there's a lot of protein too, so I'd put that under protein. Okay, peas are going to be a complex carbohydrate. And seeds, the bulk of a seed is a complex carbohydrate, most of a seed. So tuna is going to be a protein, like beef was. But if you used mayo to make that tuna salad, that's a lipid, and if you put onions in it, I see onions in it, and lettuce, that's going to be complex carbohydrates. And bow tie pasta. Pasta is made out of flour, which is going to be a complex carbohydrate. So, hey, hopefully this helped you, and if it didn't, you can go back through and give it another go, so that you're going to be ready for a test.